I am now recording this call. So once again, welcome, Tiger Talk. It's actually the third Tiger Talk, but it's the first official one of the season, I guess, if you put it that way. But I just want to take a moment. I know tomorrow is the first day of school, so we're really excited to get going. By the same measure, we understand that there is some a little bit of apprehension and anxiety. We haven't been in school in over 16 months, if you will. In the spring, we were here for just a little bit of face-to-face. So I'm hoping that I can put your mind at ease. We can put your mind at ease a little bit so that you come back when you come back tomorrow. So let me see if I can share my screen. Okay. So once again, you can, if you have a question, you can hold off till the end and I'll take it, or you can put it in the chat. And Mrs. Den usually helps me with the questions in the chat. That way, if we can get them answered. But I'm hoping that by the time we get off the call, we'll have less, you have more answers than questions. So here we go. Tomorrow is August 23rd, first day of school. So I want to start with real quick. So we've gone to a 2-lunch system here. So some of your children have either first lunch, which is during 4th period, or they have lunch, which is during 2nd period. What you see on the screen right now is a student schedule sample with a student who would have 1st period lunch. Now, 8th period starts at 7 to 7:53. Usually that can, if you're in weight training, it might start a little bit earlier. If you're usually gets out there, we've made a 10-minute adjustment to since last year. But 8th period, that's before school starts. Not everybody has 8th period. If you have credit recovery, then it would be an 8th period. That doesn't start till August 30th. Now, academic support, that is our formerly known as the reading period. We shortened it down from 8:30 to 9:02. That is your 1st period class, okay? Now, at the beginning, that's going to be at our teacher's discretion. You can read during that time, get caught up with some of your assignments, extend the time. We as a team, we're still trying to navigate to see what's the best to do with that time there. There's a lot of flexibility in that time. By the same measure, we have a lot of our link crew activities like social follow-ups. We have ASB meetings. We have class meetings during that time. So there's just a lot of flexibility with that time right now. What it is not a kickback, do nothing type of period. So we're also working at some activities possibly during that time, but it's really assistance with and provide some support academically. Okay, so that goes from 8:30 to 9:02, and then students will, there's not a bell, they'll stay in 1st period. As you can see, 9:02 to 9:55, we have 53-minute periods, and then this student would have lunch, which is from 11:51 to 12:31, which is 40 minutes, and then 5th, 6th period. The school day ends at 3:25 because of the 10-minute adjustment. This schedule is a student who would have 2nd lunch, which would be a 5th period lunch. So as you can see, nothing changes. The only thing it's a 7th period. Students are still attending 6 classes. Our teachers are still teaching 5 classes, but in our student information system, we couldn't figure out where we weren't able to make like first and second lunch, A lunch, B lunch. So we had to bring a period. So even our teachers, when they look at their schedule, they have a lunch scheduled. So half of the student body will be in first lunch, half in 2nd lunch. All right. Now, this takes us to the minimum day schedule, which is for tomorrow. Tomorrow is the first day of school. It's a we were going to offer lunch to students, which is going to happen after school. School is out at 12:43 on minimum days. 1st period starts at 8:30 to 9:08, 38 minutes long. you see, that's just go straight into first period. There is no academic advisory period during that time. And if you look at the periods here, when you get to fourth and fifth, your students will either go to their, if your student has first lunch, then they don't have a fourth period. They would go to their fifth period during that time, and vice versa. All right. So all of your students, if you're a student who has, like here, a second lunch, fifth period, on a minimum day, you would just go to your fourth period, and then you'd go fourth to sixth period. If you have the other lunch, you would go to fifth period and then to sixth period. It can get a little interesting, and we'll get it figured out, but during all of your schedules have first through seventh period. Fourth and fifth is lunch, depending on what lunch you have. Okay. So tomorrow we'll have personnel out and about, direct helping kids. I'll make announcements over the PA system. Your kids are going to be fine. We're going to try to make it as smooth a transition to the first day of school as possible. Okay. Now, this is as you all know, we do have construction happening at the Imperial High School. It was really great to see a lot of you this weekend and walk the campus. As you can see, there's a lot of walking going on. And this barrier that you see, this is exactly a white fence that we have that's surrounding the entire construction area here. Okay, so this white wall will be up for 16 months. We broke ground on this project. It was scheduled for June the 8th. We started about 3 weeks later, but the guys, the crew from Erickson Hall, they've done an awesome job. The construction folks and the breaking, they've done just an awesome job of getting it ready for Monday. So on Monday, you just see a white wall surrounding the construction area. So what that does, it has eliminated all the walking from the south campus to the north end. Okay, so right over here, if you follow the house, this is the south end of campus. This is the kiosk. This is the Ramada. So if your lunch, if your last period before lunch is over on the south end, we're going to have a kiosk right here, right at the end of the 300 building by Mrs. Martinez's class, where students can get lunch there. Or they can also, once you see this white wall here, they can go toward the right and follow. If you follow my mouse, they'll walk through here with this blue fence here. This is another fence that's that separates us from the district office parking lot. So students can walk through here. And then it's really cool because right here, there's a chain link fence. So you can actually see a little bit of the construction going on. You don't have access to there, but you can see it. And then you would just walk through here, and this takes you over to the east end of the cafeteria by the district office parking lot. So right over here, you would enter the cafeteria through the door opening there, go to the kitchen, get your lunch, and then you can actually eat inside the cafeteria. Now, if your students want to walk back, they'd have to go back around and then back out into this area, but they're welcome to eat inside the cafeteria. All right. This is if the period right before lunch is you're over here on the south end of campus. Now, right over here by this kiosk, we still have these two Ramadas where kids can have lunch there. We're going to ask kids to stay from this area to the north end because we still have half of our teachers and students who are going to be in class. So they'll be able to eat here. All right. But we're also going to have about 4 additional movable, portable lunch areas, lunch trucks, if you will, carts. So your kids will be able to, here's the library. We're going to allow students to eat inside the library. All right. We'll have personnel in there to make sure our Tigers do a good job of picking up after themselves. So we're probably going to put a portable food cart over here by the library. And tomorrow, I'm going to walk with our cafeteria staff to identify a few other places where we can put the food cart, and so we can plug it in, because we'll still ask our kids to plug in our ID their IDs to keep track of the lunches, but breakfast and lunch will be free of charge to all of our students this year. So, okay, so this obstruction, this white fence here really does put it makes things a little bit more interesting, but the cafeteria will not be the only has lunch available for our kids. There'll be locations where they'll be able to grab lunch. And then you can't see it right now, where my right now, that's the counseling office. So this wall runs right in front of the counseling office. So over here, further north behind the counseling office, just installed some ramadas over there. So we'll have personnel and kids will be allowed to eat there too. We will have classes in session over there. So we're going to ask our staff to, close their blinds to distractions, but we're just making the best that we can with the significant amount of coverage that's happening in the middle of our campus. Now, when you look over here, if you're following my mouse, you see this red outline. This will be the new building when it's all said and done. And what it is, brand new multi-purpose room. It's a brand new kitchen, as well as a culinary arts classroom. So it's going to be a really nice setup. And we will have access to our kitchen up until the new kitchen is built. Once the new kitchen is built, we'll get access to the new kitchen, and then the old kitchen will be demoed or demolished, if you will. All right. So these ramadas that were right in front of the cafeteria where we had the little windows, this is no longer there. Those have been taken away. So just imagine all of this white fence is covering up everything from the front of the counseling office all the way over here on the south end, which is right in front of room portable 606, Mrs. Megarejo's classroom right here. All right. So just so you can get a little visual of what's going on. Now, I know what some of us are thinking is like, wow. And yesterday, some of you came by and we noticed that I was working with some of our identifying some of our where their classes are. And some of you are walking from the north south end. So, it's a 5-minute passing period. And we know that there's an obstruction. Our team at the high school, we all understand this. So we'll be flexible. Hey, we still, like anything, we want our kids to be on time to class. But for now, it's a 5-minute passing period, and our teaching team will be flexible. Of course, if a student shows up 5-10 minutes late to class, then that's going to be something that's going to raise an eyebrow. But couple minutes of distance, and we'll be able to get more of a feel of it once we get there. Our Tigers are usually on the hop. They hustle to class. We won't have lockers this year to facilitate getting from point A to point B. So again, this is not a permanent situation, but it is going to be up for the entire year. Okay. Now, moving forward, we're talking about access to campus. Okay, there's going to be 3 main entrances, 3 ways to get onto campus. The first one is off of Barione, which is the main entrance. That'll be open. Kids can come in and access campus through there. Then after that, we have over on the northeast by the district office, we have the gate toward the ag area where you see this arrow. This gate will be open and kids can enter campus through there. You come over this direction and you'll get into the Mr. Esquer's Ag Mechanic shop right over here, and then you can access the campus. You won't be able to access the campus through district office because it's fenced off over there right by the cafeteria. So there won't be any campus access through the district office, but there will be campus access through the ag gate over here. Then we also have the north entrance by the transportation loading zone. As you can see right here, this is the north end of the campus where the buses usually would come in and pick kids up in the Ramada. But you see this white wall that goes all the way clear to the other side. So our buses won't be able to come in here. So the student drop off will be over here on the north end, which is no problem. but the pickup at the end of the day when school's out will be over on the far north end, over right outside the softball field here at the high school. So once again, to some of our Tigers who may not be familiar with it, we'll make announcements tomorrow, and we'll have personnel out there to guide them toward the bus pickup area. So here we are. Those are the 3 access points. So first of all, to review, we have main entrance off of Barione, the northeast entrance over by district office into the ag area, and then we have the north end transportation loading and pickup. And then student parking lot off of Barione. This is a drop-off area. What's happened before, ladies and gentlemen, is if you come drop off your child in the morning and you try to drop them off over here in the staff parking lot, it's going to cause a lot of congestion. You're better off coming into the student parking lot, going around. There's a gate over on this end over here on the east end of the student parking lot. Drop off your child real quick and then come back around and then come out. So that would just make it a little bit more practical. All right. Okay. Speaking of transportation, gotten some calls. So to request transportation, you can go, and I sent everyone an email this afternoon with these specific instructions as well. Go to Imperial Unified School District website. Then you're going to go to About Us, Administration, Transportation, and then when you get to transportation, you're going to go scroll down to Request Transportation. Once you complete this request, it will be updated on Parent View or the student portal. To check Parent View, you log into Parent View, go to Student Information, and you scroll down to and click on Additional Information, and it should give you the route information. If you have any questions, you can send we have a new transportation director, Miss Giselle Silva. So feel free, you can send her an email and she will be able to take your questions there. Email is the most practical way to do it. And the email here, but it's ysilva@imperialusd.org. If Mrs. Din, if you can put that in the chat for me, ysilva@imperialusd.org. That is our transportation director. Okay, now moving on, we have just some things to housekeeping items. We have a dress code and cell phone policies. And look, I understand dress code and I understand cell phones. So any clothing that depicts or promotes tobacco, drugs, alcohol, violence or discrimination, clothing that's excessively short skirts, shorts or whatnot, no bare midriffs, no belly buttons showing, no sagging of pants. The policies were on the acknowledgments that you hit when you come in, but we will gladly share the actual the dress code and cell phone policies at a later time. If you're in violation of dress code, look, and I want to be very clear with this. We haven't been in school in close to a year and a half. It is very important that, you know, we don't wear, at the end of the day, it's a school, it's not a corporation. I wear a tie every day. I'll wear a coat. I don't expect our students or our staff to dress, but we do have to differentiate between, you know, our own personal time and on the weekend. So we just ask our kids to make sure that they're in compliance with dress code. If the student is wearing something that's in violation of dress code policy, we're going to provide them with a loaner, with a t-shirt or an article of clothing that that will be acceptable, or we're going to have them reach out to you, and then you'll have to bring them in another article of clothing. So just before your kids leave, just make sure that they're dressed like, I want to say typical teenagers, if you will, but that they're dressed appropriately for school. No clothes that depicts alcohol, drugs, or tobacco, promotes violence or discrimination, no weapons on the clothing, no knives, guns, grenades, bombs, or things of that nature. I know you might be thinking, well, Mr. Apodaca, yes, we want to make sure that we are focused completely on educating our kids or your kids, and there aren't any distractions, and I understand that some of the clothes out there is really cool. I get it. But it's some of the times it's not appropriate for school. So we really ask for your support in that area, which brings us to cell phones. I know this one is big because we all work and live in a cell phone world. As myself, if I would first say, keep them at home. Don't bring them to school. I know that's not practical, but if your kids bring their cell phones to school, they need to be turned off and put away in their backpacks or in their purses. Myself and our staff shouldn't be able to see the cell phones. All right, ear pods, any kinds of headphone or listening device also needs to be put away. I know we have kids who walk around, with the wires hanging out of their shirt here so they can, listen to music here and there. That needs to be put away. We haven't been in school for over close to a year and a half. We want to make sure that there aren't any distractions, ladies and gentlemen. Don't hang wires from the shirts. If your students need to get a hold of you, they can go to the office, ask one of our office team members, I need to get a hold of my mom or my dad, and we'll let them call. If they need to use their cell phone, because in this day and age, no one remembers their phone number anymore because it's on the cell phone, you can take it out right there, find it, and we can have you call your parents. If you need to go get a hold of your child, you can call the school and we'll get a hold of your child and put them in contact with you. So I know the cell phones are really practical. I mean, I use them as well. I have kids, high school and elementary age as well. And we live in a cell phone world, but the truth of the matter is they are a distraction. I teach at IVC and I ask all of my students, and these are adults, to put their cell phones on silent or vibrate and put them away. No putting them on their desks because they're a distraction. So please, ladies and gentlemen, parents, I ask you, I plead with you for your support on this. You can always reach out to me individually to share your concerns, but while your kids are in school, they can have a cell phone on them, but please ask them that they are required to turn it off. If the phone is taken, if they're texting, if it goes off on the first infraction, it'll be placed in the office and we will only release the phone to the parent or guardian after school, okay? Only to the parent or guardian after school on the first time. The second time, the device will be placed in the office and the parents must pick it up after school and we'll assign a little bit of study hall thereafter, all right? On the third infraction, the student will have a conversation and the student to identify why it's been 3 times that this has happened. And very likely the student will not be allowed to bring the item to school anymore. So once again, it's, I understand the cell phones, but they're not necessary during the school day, especially now when we've issued a bunch of Chromebooks to students, and some of you who have not been issued a Chromebook have opted not to because of your personal laptop at home. So we have the technology so that you can use in the classroom. So the cell phones, if we have headphones, we will be issuing headphones to use during class. We're working on all this as well. So as far as the cell phones go, once again, I know I sound redundant on this, but I just ask for your support on this, and tell your children to leave, to turn them off and put them away. A lot of folks like to carry their cell phones in their back pockets and their front pockets. You need to put them in a backpack. You need to put them away where we can't see them. And then the wires need to be put away. And I'll be we'll be looking at that as well and be reminding kids not to put that stuff away. All right. So real quick, we also have COVID-19 protocols and a parent and safety agreement. We're going to be sending these out to you. But look, with COVID, there's a lot of questions. So this part right here, I'm just going to go highlight some areas here. This is our parent and guardian health and safety agreement. You'll be getting copies of this. So it's just the plan for COVID-19 here within our district. So we're asking, look, if your kids feel sick, keep them at home. Don't send them to school. If they feel sniffles or under the weather, don't send them to school. Keep them home. Gone are the days, hey, I don't care how sick you are, I'm going to go to work. Even myself, I'm the guy who never missed school or work because of a cold. Now, if I'm not feeling well, or I feel any symptoms or anything, we got to stay home. So screen that, at home, parent agrees to screen their child, before taking them or sending them off to school. That means chills, cough, shortness of breath, difficulty breathing, anything of that nature. I'm not going to read this document to you. I highlighted some of the high points. If your child has a fever of more than 100.4, you'll not keep your child at home. Hopefully it's nothing serious, but keep them at home. You just call the school and you speak to our attendance office, or you leave a message. You say, hey, you know what? My son has a fever of 100.4. I'm going to keep him home. Let's make sure we communicate with his teacher so that we can get him his assignments. Then this goes in the event of a child's been in close contact with anyone who has been diagnosed with or likely to have COVID in the last 10 days, we won't send the child to school either. So a person is considered to be a close contact of a person diagnosed to have COVID-19 if within 48 hours before that person's symptoms began, 2 days prior to test specimen collection. So if your child's been exposed to someone with COVID or who's diagnosed with a positive COVID test, keep them home. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to call us. If you're not sure, give us a call. Call the school, let them know that, hey, you know what? I might have my son might have been exposed to COVID. I don't want to send him to school, but I need to talk to someone who can give me some guidance. Hey, you'll speak to me, Mr. Rubio, Mrs. Den, and we'll communicate with our district office and get you the guidance. As far as masking is concerned, we all know that masking mandates are in place as part of the public health order here in the Valley and across the state. So indoors, all students and adults, regardless of vaccination status, must wear masks indoors. All right. Now, so if there is a medical exemption, the folks who are exempted, if there's a medical note that exempts someone from wearing a mask, then the alternative is a shield with a cloth that hangs from under the shield. All right. So if there's any questions, for the doctor's note, and we move forward in that direction. All right. Parent, guardian understands and agrees that there may be students in TK through 12 who will participate in in-person instruction and or riding on district transportation that may be legally exempt from wearing masks or face shields due to severe medical condition. If a child starts experiencing symptoms at school, we will ask the parent to pick up the child at school as soon as reasonably possible, but no later than within 1 hour of being notified by the district. When the parent arrives at school, the parent will call the school's office and remain in his or her vehicle. All right. Parent guardian understands and agrees that if the child tests positive, or if the district otherwise reasonably suspects the child is infected with COVID, the district is required to notify the Imperial County Public Health Department. Okay. No one It's prohibited to discriminate against anyone who's tested positive or a family member who's tested positive for COVID. Responsibility to quarantine, we understand that the district may direct children to quarantine either because his or her child is suspected of having COVID or because his or her child has been in close contact with someone suspected of having COVID. Students who are required to quarantine but feel well enough to participate in independent study are encouraged to continue to attend school through district's independent study. Okay. Visitors, because of the public health emergency, non-essential visitors won't be permitted to be on campus. Parent, guardian who wishes to come on campus must first obtain approval from the superintendent or the designee, which would be myself or one of our administrative team, Mr. Rubio or Mrs. Dan. And then, recommended home cleaning procedures. I'm a big connoisseur now of hand sanitizer. I carry it around in my pocket, have some in my car, in the office, washing hands frequently, especially with commonly touched items, face coverings, backpacks, lunch boxes, and water bottles. So, and then we'll ask folks to sign. I have received and read and understand and agree to all the above terms set forth in the Imperial Unified School District's Parent Guardian Health and Safety Agreement for in-person instruction for the 21-22 school year. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I got to tell you, this is where we are today. As of Sunday, August 22nd, and for tomorrow, this is where we are. We go in the Imperial Unified School District, we base everything off the guidance from the California Department of Public Health and the Imperial County Department of Public Health. So we go based on that guidance and those instructions. As soon as things change, we make the adjustments accordingly. If we have, if after 2 weeks, we get guidance that says it's no longer necessary to wear masks inside, then we will communicate that to everyone and we will move forward with it. If the guidance right now, indoors, regardless of vaccination status, they got to be worn. And then our ASB has also put together a video that we'll be sharing out in school with how to properly wear a mask and with dress code policies as well. So that'll give you a better visual. But outdoors, they're optional. So what does that mean? That means they're optional. Students aren't required to wear them outdoors, as neither are adults. But inside, they're required to be worn. Okay. Now, I promise not to want to keep you here very long. I know that there's probably more questions, but this is the gist of what we have going on. The dress code, the electronic device, the double lunch period, the obstruction or the construction in the center of campus, all of that kind of just adds to this glorious opportunity to really get comfortable with being uncomfortable. I mean, I know it's like the song that we had at the beginning, Don't Worry, Be Happy. And I purposely put that on there because, it's a difficult time right now. We're excited about being back face to face, but I understand the apprehension. I understand the frustration. And in a lot of ways, I understand the anger in a lot of ways, because it happens. And we feel angry sometimes, we feel frustrated, but that isn't going to help the situation change. So let's do the best we can to keep a positive mental attitude. And I know we don't have clear-cut answers in a lot of areas, but together we'll keep working toward them, keep navigating toward them. I appreciate all of the text messages that I get. I appreciate the emails. Also, I got to tell you, our counseling staff, our administrative staff are swamped, and I'm not making excuses. So if you need a schedule change, we will get to you. Now, the first 2 to 3 weeks of the semester, there's a lot of movement happening because we're close 1,400 kids. All of them will show and some of them won't, but there's a lot of movement happening in the first 2 to 3 weeks of school as we get settled a little bit. And with, we haven't been in school for a long time. Our seniors were in 10th grade the last time they were in school. All right. Our 10th graders were in 8th grade the last time they actually were in school. So there's a lot going on. So we want to make sure as much as possible that we are making the transition as easy as possible. Let me stop sharing my screen here.
You ready for some questions, Mr. Apodaca?
Yeah, can you still see my screen?
Yeah, I can still see it.
Okay.
There we go. So we had some questions about our COVID precautions as far as temperatures, seating, notifications regarding possible exposure. If you could elaborate on that. There were a lot of questions as far as what we're going to be doing to be safe with COVID.
As far as there won't be any temperature checks coming in. The temperature should be done at home according to the guidance. We won't be conducting temperature checks in school to come in. As far as distancing in the classroom, based on the guidance that we've received from the California Department of Health and the Imperial County Department of Public Health, as long as kids are wearing masks and adults are wearing masks, there is no guidance in terms of certain feet from social distancing in the classroom. So for lack of better words, the guidance and from the departments of public health indicate that appropriately masking at this stage of the game would be the most effective way of mitigating any possible exposure. Now, if there is an exposure, if someone tests positive in the family, then the most practical thing to do is to reach out and contact our office so that we can get in touch with our medical staff in the district and move from there. We've had a couple of exposures throughout the summer, and they've moved pretty quick. So if you're usually with the contact tracing, we will try to find out as many people who were exposed and then make those contacts from our district office. So, I mean, the most definite component right now and mandate is the indoor masking. So I hope that answers the question a little bit, but based on what we're getting, as long as the is as of right now, based on what we've gotten, is the best deterrent of spreading COVID and vaccination. But look, I know there's different views on that. I'm simply telling us based on the guidance that we're getting and how the decisions that we're making. So.
Do students need to bring their laptops every day for their Chromebooks?
I would say yes.
We did have quite a few questions regarding transportation. Those schedules should have been, or the assignment should have been posted on Parent View. But if you didn't get that information, you can reach out to us in the morning. I know that we have the transportation notebook in the front office.
You can also reach out to Ms. Silva, our Director of Transport, for any immediate questions. She usually does a pretty good job of getting back to us.
That's Y Silva, right, Mr. Apodaca?
Pardon me?
That's Y Silva. I'll put it in the chat.
Yes, ysilva@imperialusd.org. There's restrooms all over campus, ladies and gentlemen, located at different parts of the campus. So, I mean, hand washing is key. We also have hand sanitizer pretty much everywhere you turn on campus. Tomorrow we'll be dropping off hand sanitizer in the classroom as well. So, okay. Any other questions there, Mrs. Den?
What sort of masks do students need to wear? Are gator masks acceptable?
I don't know what a gator mask is.
That's the one layer that goes over the mouth, and usually it's worn around the neck.
As of right now, it's my understanding that yes. You know, we also will have masks on campus should a student not have one. We will provide one. Somebody mentioned, I saw it in the chat earlier, that students like to wear their masks under their nose. They need to it needs to cover up the nose. Give me just a second, watch. So my kids were giving me a hard time because I got one of these things that hangs my mask. So it's just a straight surgical mask that needs to go over the nose so that my glasses don't fog up. And I usually wear a KN91 or 95. But usually I'll wear this one, and then I'll wear one over the top of this one that says Imperial Tigers on it, just because you got to show my tiger pride. But a lot of my own children, and this is not properly worn. All right. So if there's any adjustments, I will definitely let you know. So we do have masks like this one. This is a mask that I got from school. So we have these available to our students who don't have a mask.
Are you open to questions now?
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you talked about the free lunch and all the lunch kiosks. Is that just going to be the basic, just the whole lunch, or is a la carte going to be, you know, if kids want to get a burger instead of whatever, is that going to be available as well, either for purchase or for free?
You know, that's a good. I imagine there's going to be stuff available a la carte, but I'll find out for sure on that one tomorrow.
Also for seniors, I think I heard somewhere that at the beginning of school, the English classes are going to dedicate a certain amount of time to teaching them how to fill out college applications and scholarship applications. Is that true, or do I need to work on that with or elsewhere?
Usually we hold workshops like that through our counseling department, and also our teachers do touch on that, but it's not a set part of the curriculum.
Okay, yeah, I thought I heard that in English they were going to do that, but maybe I was wrong. Also, are the students going to have books to carry home, or is everything going to be online?
A lot of the curriculum now is online.
Without lockers, how do we make that for them?
Yeah, most of the curriculum is online, but we do have some textbooks still. So we're going to be providing each student with a textbook to take home and leave at home. And then we'll be providing class sets in the classroom so that they don't have to carry them back and forth.
So other than their folders and basic supplies, they won't have any textbooks that they have to carry back and forth to class?
That's correct.
Okay.
Thank you for your questions, by the way.
Hi, Mr. Apodaca.
Hi, good afternoon.
We're new in this school because our kid was supposed to enter 8th grade, but now it's 10 after COVID. So like
Yes,
you
sir.
said, I got a question referring to the bus. In Mondays, the schedule is not like updated in the parents view. So they leave the school at 12:30. So
12:43.
yeah, so the bus is gonna leave after the school period, or they have to wait until 3 p.m.
No, I don't think they'll be waiting until 3 p.m. It's usually, no, they will not be, no, they'll be picked up a little bit earlier.
Okay, okay. Thank you
Mr.
very much.
Salazar, what we usually do on that is like tomorrow, as soon as I find out exactly what time the pickup time is, we'll make an announcement and say, hey, Tigers, if you're taking the bus, you're at the bus pickup zone by this time because the buses will be here by the certain time. And we really, at the beginning, we don't just show up and then take off. We know that we know that some kids will be confused. All of us will be confused because it's been a little while since we've come back to school. So we will make sure that we're flexible and we wait and to make sure all of our Tigers can get on the bus if they need to get on the bus.
Okay, thank you very much.
No, thank you.
What you said about the cell phone rule, since our schedules are on our phone on Student View, will we be able to use them on the first or the first week to find our way to the classes?
You know, I'm really gonna be, I would rather we print the schedule, or actually before you come to school tomorrow, you can take a piece of paper and a pen and write down your schedule. And that way you don't have to use the phone. You know, that's what we did it back in the 1800s when I was still in school. But I would rather, yeah. So if you can see your schedule right now on your phone, I would just take a minute to take out a piece of paper or a little notepad and put first period, second, all the way through. And then there won't be a need to use your phone when you come on campus.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Mr. Padaka.
I'm sorry, go
Following
ahead.
Hi, following up with Aaron's question, do you guys have school maps like in the front office that maybe the freshmen can pick up to find their way around?
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, and again, sometimes folks, I think I sent an email yesterday or Friday that has the actual school map that can be printed. But if you email me directly, I can send it to you. But to answer your question, we will have maps of the campus tomorrow morning up in the front office. Myself, Mrs. Din, Mr. Rubio will be walking around with maps. Anyone who wants a map will get a map.
Wonderful, thank you.
No problem, thank you.
I'm sorry, quick question. I actually just got the email today for transportation and how to apply. Unfortunately, I just applied today for the transportation and my kids start school tomorrow. How can I get help to know what bus they should take tomorrow?
I would send Miss Silva an email, a direct email. And I'm hoping she'll be able to respond. I spoke to her, I communicated with her earlier today. So she said,
Okay.
if there were any questions, to just reach out to her via email.
Okay, and that information is on the district, right?
Yes, ma'am. And I also, on the email that I sent today, I did put Miss Silva's email on it.
Okay, thank you very much.
No, thank you.
Mr. Apodaca, will the students receive any planners this year?
No, we didn't order any planners. No, we didn't.
Okay, thank you.
Mrs. Din just put the link to the campus map on the chat here. Thank you, Mrs. Din.
I have another question, Mr. Apodaca. You said class starts at 8:30 this year. First bell rings at 8:30 or is first bell ring at 8:25?
8:25.
Thank you.
Yes, academic support is first period. It's formerly known as the reading period. We changed it, and we're still working on being more creative with what we're doing with that time.
Mr. Apodaca, this is a very specific question about dress code
Yes.
from my daughter. As far as distressed kind of pants and shorts with the frayed, are those okay for dress code?
With the what now?
With like, you know, that's all you can buy kind of right now is the distressed pants that have holes.
No, I
frayed.
mean, yeah, if the pants have holes in them, I know that's like the cool thing today.
Right,
As long as the holes aren't above the middle
right,
of the thigh, if you will. And I'm
reasonable.
for boys and girls. I mean,
Okay,
so yeah, so we should, and then absolutely no bare midriffs. I
right,
always tell the students, listen, and I've said this before and it kind of creeped me. I say, look, so you can all start showing your bellies when I start showing. And they're like, oh, I don't think so, man. So, you know, we want to just make sure that we're adhering to the dress code. I mean, I'm
right.
trying to be real hard about this stuff, but by the same measure, we do want to set the tempo at the beginning. So if there's ever any other questions, please just reach out and let me know. Mrs. Den, you can put my cell phone on the chat again. If there's any questions, you can always reach out. Sometimes we call to the office and we have a lot going on. And if you don't get an answer that has to be done right now, send me a text message and I can usually put you in contact with a team member who can help you.
Thank
Hi,
you.
Mr. Apodaca. I was wondering, what is the time schedule for the first day of school?
First day of school, we start first period or at 8:30 and we'll be out at 12:43. It's a minimum day.
Thank you.
No, you're welcome.
Are extracurricular and intramural activities back to 100%? And if so, do they follow the same rules for practices? If practices indoors, they're masked, and if they're out,
Yes, all extra
they're not masked.
activities are still happening. If we're practicing indoors, to the best of my knowledge, they do need to be masked up. Outdoors, they're not masked up. Also, you know, our band students outdoors, the masks are optional. Indoors, we do have masks specifically for so that our students in band can still play the instrument, and we have PPE for the instruments as well. It's a good question. Thank you.
And are the seasons going to be 100%? Or are they going to be abbreviated? Are they going to?
As of right now, the seasons are 100%. As of today, we have a full fall sports schedule. We have football, we have volleyball, we have cross country and golf. So they're all full schedules. So.
Hi, Mr. Apodaca. Is there a menu for breakfast and lunch posted anywhere that as parents can see?
You know what? I don't have an answer for that, but I can get an answer for that. I would check first on the district website. But as soon as I get off this call, I'll look to see if there's a menu. And if I don't send it out tonight, I'll send it out tomorrow sometime. But that's a good question. You know, in all the years of working in high school, that's the first time that's ever been asked. So we'll find out.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mr. Badaka, it's a two-part question. This
Okay.
year, will we be using Canvas or Google Classroom?
Canvas. We'll be using
Okay.
Canvas.
And follow up on the band. Don't the band kids have to get their Letterman eye?
I believe that is the case. I mean, if nothing's changed as far as band members earning their letter, that would be something to talk to Mr. Scurries about, though.
Okay, and if he doesn't want to get the eye, would we just not get it, or?
Well, I think that's something that we can discuss later on I take that like a sports specific type of a situation, but I would need to find out more information before I can give you an accurate answer on that one. So feel free to see me tomorrow.
Okay.
And we can talk about it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions out there? I mean, I have everybody muted, but you're welcome to unmute yourself.
Hi, Mr. Apodaca.
Hi.
Hi, yes, I was wondering, are you gonna have extra benches for students to sit outside?
Oh, man, we have benches like you wouldn't believe. Yes, we're gonna.
Okay, that's good.
We have extra benches. As a matter of fact, tomorrow morning, about 6 or 7, we're gonna be moving them up under that Ramada on the north end of campus. So we have ordered more benches. We actually ordered more benches before the closure. And we have plenty of benches. At least
Okay,
that's what I mean, it looks like we do, but we'll find out.
okay, so they'll be able to sit maybe like on the side of the band area or the gym as well?
Yes, well, they won't be able to sit inside the gym because we'll still have
Okay.
class happening, but they'll be able to sit inside the library, in the cafeteria. We're gonna set up some bench areas over by next to the band room. So remember, there will, half of the students and staff will be at lunch and the other half will be in class still. So we're gonna be a little bit more restricted in terms of where they can go. The good news is after the project is finished, we're gonna have a huge cafeteria. But for now, we'll have to make some adjustments.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you. So if you're trying to log on, you can log on by, when you go try to log on to your email, type in your email, your student ID at imperialusd.org. Let me in the chat.
At student.imperialusd.org.
Okay.
I'll plug it in right.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And then your password is just the student ID, and that should allow you to reset your password and get things going again.
If we still aren't able to reset the password, do we go to the counseling to fix that?
You can go to counseling or you can email the registrar's office.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Mr. Apodaca. I got another question.
No, that's fine.
When the students leave on Monday, the lunch will be available after class, right? But
Yes, sir. Lunch after class.
But if they got to take the bus to return home, so they can take their lunch with them?
Yes, they can take their lunch with them. Yes. There should be plenty of time between the last period of the day at 12:43 and then them getting lunch and then them getting on the bus.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, quick question. Will you be hosting academic decathlon this year?
If I have anything to do with it, yes. It just, we're waiting. Usually what happens is the county reaches out to us on that one. And if we have enough interest, and I'm hoping that we do, we'll field it. I think for the last 4 years or 5 or 6 years, we've always fielded an academic decathlon team.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Apodaca, I have one more question.
Go right ahead.
Before COVID, we were able to order food, and due to the cafeteria situation, would we still be able to order food or no?
No. There won't be any, we can't order food from outside to have people drop it off. So if you want to bring lunch, you can at the beginning, you can bring your lunch with you, but we will not be allowed to order food and bring food from the outside.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, are they allowed to take their own lunch?
Yeah, they can bring their own lunch. You can bring your own lunch if you want. I mean, you can bring your own lunch, eat your own lunch, and then get in line and have school lunch too, or vice versa. But you just can't, we just won't allow anyone to bring lunch at lunchtime like we did before the closures.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
No problem. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're at 7 o'clock right now. So again, this is all going to be downloaded right now, converted, and we'll email it to all of our parents, and I will put it on our website. But you know, I'm hoping all of you had most of your questions answered. And if you have anything else that happens later on, send me an email or send me a text message. It's you're not imposing on me. And there are no questions except the ones that we don't, ladies and gentlemen. So it's very important to me that you have a positive experience coming on to this this journey that we're about to begin. And no matter how crazy it gets or how difficult it gets, the only thing that we can control, ladies and gentlemen, is our approach to it, our positive mental attitude. And I really believe that. So it's my privilege to serve all of you, if you and your children, the Tiger teachers, the counselors, the classified staff, the custodial staff. We are all excited to see your kids at school tomorrow. I get goosebumps, man. I probably won't get to sleep too much tonight, because I'm just real excited about this. So thank you so much for your time. And if there are any questions, I'm going to stay on the call a little bit until everybody gets ready to go. If there's any questions, if I need to explain anything, please let me know. Other than that, let's get after it. Make it a masterpiece. Tiger Pride.
Mr. Apodaca,
Yes.
quick question. Is the campus going to be closed for the kids to leave for lunch? Are they stuck at campus all day?
Yeah, it's always been a closed campus. There is no, it is not an open campus. It is, once they come in, it's a closed campus.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you. Yeah, you'll be dressing out for PE, but not in the first week. Yearbooks from last year are here. We'll be sending out more communication on that one. If you come by the school, we can probably get it for you, but give us at least till Tuesday or Wednesday. As of right now, fans are allowed in for football games and basketball games. Indoors, we just got to be masked up for now. Hopefully that changes down the road. Kids allowed to join freshman football. I would speak to Victor Cruz, our athletic director, have your student go up to speak to Mr. Cruz. It might be a little late because of the limitation of practices, but I would check with Mr. Cruz to be on the safe side. Yes, I think you can still purchase last year's yearbooks. I would check with Mr. Ortiz, and he would be able to give you some direction on that. Esteban Ortiz. If you call the school, you can be transferred to his extension. If your child is a senior and they have unscheduled, at the end of the day, they may be released because they're unscheduled. Once students come on campus for a period, we do require them to stay on campus. After school, right now, we have athletics going on, and we have different kinds of clubs after school. Yes, we will be looking for school site council. Keep an eye on that in the next 2 weeks. We will be looking for more information on parents for school site council. AR, the reading period is no longer the reading period, but some teachers still may ask kids to read. I'm a big believer in reading. I think we should read at least 30 minutes a day, every day. But AR has definitely changed. We're not using AR as a department as we have in the past. It really depends on how the teacher's going to use the AR component. También si hay alguna pregunta en español, aquí estamos para responder. You know, if there's a question in Spanish and need some clarification, please let me know. I appreciate all the kind words a lot of you are sending directly and on the chat. Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to help. I will confirm on the Gators. Yes, I saw the same thing on the chat. Thank you thank you to the person who posted it, and thank you for the reminder on that.
Question on Chromebooks.
Yes,
When can they be checked out if the student hasn't already checked one out?
you can go by the front office tomorrow or on Wednesday, anytime during the week. And check one out.
The student or the parent?
We asked the parent to show up so that the parent can sign for it. Yes.
No problem. Thank you. Have a good year.
You do. Yeah, we're in this one together. It's going to be a great one. Bell schedule. If you send me an email, I can email you the bell schedule.
The students choose to bring their
Here
own
as well.
laptop.
Say it again.
If the students choose to bring their own laptop,
That's fine.
what are the requirements? I mean, is an iPad sufficient, or does it have to be a folding laptop?
You know, an iPad probably isn't the best. I know those are good devices, but it's preferred to be a laptop, because if you bring an iPad, you're eventually going to probably have to check out a Chromebook. The bell schedule, if you send me an email, japodaca@imperialusd.org, I can email you a copy of the bell schedule. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. If there are no questions, I'm going to hang around for maybe 2 more minutes. Thank you. Have a fabulous year as well. We will not have tomorrow. I had originally scheduled one for tomorrow that was going to cover this, but I'm going to be posting this, so there will not be a meeting tomorrow. We will probably have one during the week just to kind of go and see how the week has gone. All right, so I'll be having more of these as we get going, because I want your input. I want to know what you're thinking, and don't hesitate to let us know.
There's no orientation for dual enrollment tomorrow, I believe. Is that going to be in person or a Zoom?
I don't know. I'll find out. Orientation for dual enrollment, Zoom or in person. I will find out.
Right. Yeah, if it's Zoom, I haven't received any links. So.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, well, once again, thank you so very much. Have a wonderful Sunday evening. And Tiger Pride.